This is not financial nor professional advice. This video is for entertainment only. Hey everyone, I use Berkshire Hathaway as my bank, and I talk to some of my better off friends, let's say, and they tend to use Berkshire Hathaway as their bank. I do the same thing. If I don't know what to do in the market, I put it in Berkshire Hathaway. I take it out and put it back in, take it out and put it back in, but I always keep some in. And particularly now when the market is acting so strangely and we don't know whether it's going up or down, at least for a while, it seems like we have to get into the Christmas spirit a little bit more here to have a Christmas rally, hopefully by the end of the year. But I think there's tax loss selling that's driving the market down, and I think 2022. I think it'll be shallow to begin with, but I think it'll get better as the year goes on, as inflation starts to decrease and people see that the Federal Reserve isn't going to tax us at 20%. Not tax us, but raise the interest rate to 20% or something ridiculous. In the 1970s, that's what happened. It didn't go to 20%, but it was 13, 14%. And I know people who didn't know what to do back then, and they just put it in the money market, and you were getting 13 and 14%. It was just like ridiculous. You were getting a stock market return on keeping it in a money market fund. So as Warren Buffett says, if you stick around, you'll pretty much see everything in the market. Anything and everything can happen. We saw the price of oil go to zero a couple years ago because of the situation. We've seen it go to $100. Now it's kind of fluctuating because we can't decide how fast it's going to decrease, which I think it's going to decrease, but it'll always be with us to some extent for sure. Today I want to talk about Berkshire Hathaway, a fund. It's not a fund. It's one of the Dow Industrial Average stocks, also of course in the S&P 500. But it's a holding company that owns businesses like Sees Candy, Dairy Queen, and various furniture stores. And they're involved a lot in insurance. But he also owns stocks, and he has stocks that he holds on a long-term basis, and some he's owned for decades. But he is an active trader, especially with pharmaceutical companies. He will go in and out of pharmaceutical companies all the time. And with banks, he does a lot with banks and insurance, but he actively trades those. He will make a number of changes per quarter. So he's warmed up to technology in more recent years, and his largest holding by far is Apple, for example. I think Apple composes something like over 40% of his stock investment. So he's a big believer in that. He's in his 90s, as is his partner, Charlie Munger, who is his conservative partner. I think of him as being very conservative, and he will surprise you though too. He recently put a lot of his own personal money into Alibaba, although Warren Buffett hasn't really warmed to the idea of investing in China. So that may be some time in coming, if ever. But he's very much into American brands, brands that carry a lot of weight, that are able to take their capital and keep investing in increasing amounts and getting an increasing return, which he's been very successful at doing. I think of him in many ways as being sort of a conservative S&P 500. He will do well when things get bad, and that's what really warms your heart as an investor. I mean, I've invested in Tesla. I've made a lot of money in Tesla, and boy, is that exciting! And that it's like cocaine.
Scrumptious, tasty, addictive.
You keep going back for the hit, you know.
Guess I'm being spontaneous. Somebody help me!
You know, but the hits haven't been as high recently, but that comes with size. And Apple has proved that you can continue to explode upwards even when you're gigantic. As big as Apple is, in the last 5 years, Apple has gone up 500%. And this is well past the time when everybody was saying, oh, it's too big. You can't make big money on Apple. Yes, you can. If there's one thing you want to learn from Warren Buffett, is you can make money and do well in the stock market investing in somewhat boring stocks. Boring can be good, especially in down markets. There's certain things people will buy that they have to buy, that it's part of their daily life. These are the companies that are not going to suffer in an economic downturn as much, simply because people will buy these products regardless. So let's look at some of the major holdings of Berkshire Hathaway. Berkshire Hathaway's number one holding is insurance businesses. Its second fully owned business is railroads. But Apple at number 3 is their largest stock holding. It represents 40% of all the stocks, over 40% of all the stocks that he owns, and he owns many different stocks. He has $130 billion invested in Apple. His second major stock is Bank of America, and he has about $46 billion in Bank of America. So he's very much into the financial world. But again, he sold U.S. Bancorp, for example, recently, sold shares of that. And so he trades in and out of these companies. But he sticks with Bank of America a lot. American Express, the credit card company, is his third major stock at $27 billion. He has $21 billion of Coca-Cola stock, good old Coke, that he's had since at least the 1960s. So that's one of his long-term buy and hold stocks. He's fond of saying that the best stock to own is something like, the best stock to own is one that you never have to sell. An example of products that people use in their daily life is his Kraft Heinz investment, which makes things like ketchup and salad dressing and things that you have in your normal diet. He also, further down the line and smaller investments, he likes to do this, your daily products, Colgate Palmolive that makes toothpaste and personal care items. You know, these are things people are going to buy in spite of what the economy's doing. Moody's is a credit and bond rating agency that represents his sixth largest stock holding. He still owns about $9 billion of U.S. Bancorp, so he's very much into banks. His eighth largest holding is in Verizon Communications, where he also owns about $9 billion of that. His ninth major holding represents a turn towards technology, and it's BYD company, symbol BYDDF, which I recently did a video on, which this company is kind of a combination of GM and Tesla, and it also does some solar. He has about $7 billion invested in BYD. His 10th investment in stocks is DaVita, capital D-A, capital V-I-T-A, symbol DVA, DaVita. DaVita does kidney dialysis services, and he has about $5 billion in this kidney dialysis center company. So those are the top 10 stock investments that Berkshire Hathaway is invested in. So thanks for watching the video. Thanks for your support. It means a lot to me. I plan to keep trying to give you recommendations, and these are from the heart. These are things that I rely on. Berkshire Hathaway, it isn't the most exciting investment, but it will keep you from going broke, I think, for sure. And I think it'll always do okay and better than average, which in a down market, that's kind of the most you can ask for, isn't it? Thank you very much. I will see you in the future, and good luck in all your investing.